right, old chap. What's your name?
Didn't you hear Sherlock Holmes ask you a question?
Watson, I don't think he hears anything.
Your powers of deduction are uncanny, Holmes. The man's deaf, all right.
No, Watson, he's dead.
Dead? Why, once again, you are absolutely correct. Pallor of his complexion, lack of pulse, glazed eyes, all indicate total pulmonary trauma.
As does this butcher knife in his back.
Roast me out the door. Cut his slice of life pretty thin, I'd say.
Sharp deduction, old blade.
But who is he?
His name was Cyril, owner of the rated net company. He had impacted wisdom teeth, but generally a fine mouth.
And you are...
You know who I am, Holmes. I filled your second molar to the left about 15 years ago, and I invited you here.
Dr. Cavatati, the renowned dentist.
The one who caps all the movie stars' teeth?
The same, Watson.
And this, I take it, is your associate?
Say hello, Watson.
Hello, Watson. I mean, Dr. Cavatati. Say, I have a molar right back here that's been killing me.
Watson, I'm afraid that's going to have to wait. We're dealing with a different kind of killing here. Tell me, Dr. Cavatati, who is this voluptuous creature?
My nurse, Miss Kane.
Nova Kane, cutie.
Novel name, Nova.
Pleased to make your acquisition. I hear tell lots about your remarkable powers of destruction, Mr. Holmes.
I'm sure you have some pretty remarkable powers of your own, Miss Kane. Nice place you have here.
It's not much, but I call it home, Holmes.
Seems like plenty to me. 38 rooms, maids, butlers, a private game preserve.
I've drove long and hard to reach this station in my life, and I'm not going to let some mere murder in my living room ruin a perfectly good weekend for my guests.
There are others here, then?
Elk season opened yesterday. We got a whole herd upstairs.
If you would have arrived earlier, you would have met everyone, including the late Mr. Rated.
Sorry to be so late, Cavatati, but we took a wrong turn and we ended up in Montana.
Easy enough to do out here, but no harm done. Nobody's going to be leaving anyway. The snow has just started to fall. I suspect the bridge will be out soon enough.
Ooh, trapped in a hunting lodge with the dazed killers? Why, it's like an old Betsy Davis movie.
Very novel, Nova, don't you think? Tomorrow morning will be early enough to meet the other guests, but perhaps you can tell me a bit about the late Mr. Rated.
What's to tell?
We were eating dinner.
And he didn't feel well, so he excused himself from the table. Apparently he came in here, and a short time later we heard a scream.
It was Claudia Celluloid.
The great film star?
You're familiar with her?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Down, Watson. Miss Celluloid discovered the body then?
Just as you see him.
Did anyone leave the table last night during dinner?
Everybody left during dinner.
What rude guests, eh, Holmes?
You don't know the cook.
Well, what was served?
Boiled raccoon.
Giving everyone ample reason to leave the table and then return.
I told her with roast beef.
Was this Cy Rated a close friend of yours?
A value patient, as are all my guests, Mr. Holmes.
What do you think, Watson?
I think we'd best get him to the cooler, fast.
Quite right, old bean. Have you a place where Mr. Rated will, keep?
The vegetable bin is a bit too small, but I think there's some room in the walk-in cooler. I'll have her help my room.
Very good. And tomorrow we can question the guests.
What's up, Doc? We were just practicing tie knots. Looky here.
Good heavens, a noose.
Yes, he's looking at 13 knots for luck.
Girls, this is Mr. Holmes' associate, Dr. Watson.
The Sherlock Holmes? Shucks, yes, Delilah. How many other mothers do you think you're going to name their kid Sherlock?
Mr. Holmes is here to help us solve Mr. Rated's untimely demise.
And I hope you catch his killer, too.
For now, we'd like the body moved to the cooler.
But, Doc, there ain't no room in the cooler. It's all the rhubarb.
Find room.
You're meaner than a Brahma bull with a sticker in its hoof.
I seem to recall your next dental examination coming up soon.
No, not that. Come on, girls, let's get him out of here.
sure it won't make any difference to Mr. Rated.
Mr. Holmes, do you really think you're going to be able to solve this one?
Think? What's to think? I already know who the killer is.
Gosh, they're sure lucky we got Sherlocky on this case, right, Doc?
Oh, lucky indeed. Come along, Nova. Mr. Holmes' comments has assured me a good night's sleep.
Nighty-night, don't let the bed bugs bite.
Bed bugs? Gracious.
Never fear, Watson. These mountains are above the bedbug line.
I say, Holmes, do you really know who the killer is?
Well, the angle of the wound would indicate a 6-foot-tall individual. Did you notice the strange red hairs on Mr. Rated's jacket? Then there was a smear of lipstick on his collar, and this one dollop of mud, which would indicate a high-heeled shoe that had recently stepped outside. No, there was only one individual who could have murdered Mr. Rated.
Makes no sense to me.
That's why you're just my associate, Watson. The killer was obviously a 6-foot-tall, female, red-haired gorilla with an above-average reading ability and a slight case of tennis elbow.
What's that?
A paper airplane, Watson.
Must be terribly off course. Or perhaps it contains a message.
A ridiculously juvenile stunt.
A rock.
I agree, Watson. But look, a message is tied to it.
What does it say?
Check the airplane, dummy.
Here it is.
Thank you. Meet me tomorrow morning in the living room. I'll be wearing a red rose. I have important news. You are in danger.
Danger.
Don't flinch, old chap. You should be used to it by now. Call it you, Wilkers. I hate it when people shoot at me.
Well, boys, come on upstairs. We'll show you where it's gonna work out. Claudia, Sunny Boy, or whatever her name is. Why, she took the softest bed. But we got one of those springs for you, Mr. Holmes.
What about me?
We got a little spot in the attic just for you, Doc.
Goodness, what's that?
Why, what else? The bridge is up. Ha ha ha. Well, what's that, Mommy?
So we really are trapped, Watson. And with a killer on the loose. I can tell this is going to be one of those cases.
You'll leave at your own risk, Mr. Eager. Besides, Holmes will speak with everyone this morning.
Well, after all, it won't go very far unless we burn a bit of the carbon out of it, baby.
I'm not babying you or anyone else, you immature sibling brat.
Going out for a spin, Mr. Eager?
You got it, Spectacular Chesto.
But I say, the bridge is out.
Don't make it more interesting, Doc.
You are the daredevil, Mr. Eager.
Three-tumbler of Grand Pinky Marco, President of the Indy 500 and Literature Discover of the Year. I laugh, face danger.
Before you laugh, may I ask you a few questions?
At night, you Ducko.
Did you know Mr. Rated?
Sure, I'm a rat, if you ask me. He'd cut your throat just as soon as look at you.
But didn't he finance your second win at Indianapolis?
Yeah, that's no secret, and it isn't any secret that he drove me crazy with his commands. You know what I got for that race? Not one red cent, not even a trophy. He got it all.
You sound bitter, Mr. Eager.
Yeah, I'm bitter. I should have shed any tears you didn't while I'm there last night.
Did you leave the table last night during dinner after Mr. Rated left?
You ever seen